Leave it. Okay. Alright, so what I did was cleaned off the face of the block, put some brake clean on a rag, just wiped it down real good. I'm going to do the same thing with the head face, but those were actually machined. I don't know if I said, but one was machined 4,000, so 1/6. So those look really good. So I went into my extremely cheap gasket kit right here, Mr. Gasket 7103. Pulled out these head gaskets, and I didn't really know which side was which, like what side, because you could see like that's all metal versus there's two rings there. So, but then I started looking at the witness marks on the head, and you can see two rings there. So then I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll look at the old gasket. So I actually took the old gasket, and based on the fact that there's this little shape right here, this like little circular or like a pie cut shape, that side is the head side. So if you notice, there's the two lines with the gap right there is the head side. So same here with the gap next to my thumb there. See, that'll be the head side. So same deal. I'm gonna put it home and we'll try it. But if it was wrong, it will also now be wrong. But if it was right, it will hopefully still be right. Here is the head gasket on again. We got the little gap towards the top. Gonna drop it on the ground. And gonna make sure everything's clean. And then Scott's running the tap down through the head bolt locations, just kind of cleaning out any old loose thread sealant. Not perfect type deal, just kind of run it through, clean all the easy gunk out. And then we'll put some thread sealant on them and torque it down, put the head on there. So anyway, remember the there's two shorter bolts, and I want to say they go here and there, and then all the long ones go along in the middle, and then all the very short ones go on the bottom. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got the head gasket set up there where I want it, and I cleaned the head bolts off. They had thread sealant on the threads, so I kind of just took the wire brush and cleaned those up. I don't think that's really necessary, but just kind of made me feel good about it. So I sprayed some brake clean on a shop towel, and then washed the face of the head, and then I also cleaned off the face of the block, probably showed that, and then now I just have to put the head on. So there it is, machine and looking good. Okay, so now it's on there, and then I got my head bolts here. So here's a long, here's a medium, and here's a short right there. So the longs go in all the middle bosses in the head. The mediums go on the ends, one end, and the shorts go in the face. So I'm going to add some thread sealant to those because we have a wet deck, and then torque those down in stages. So I got to check my book to make sure where we're at torque wise. Okay, so I got my torque wrench here. I got it set to 65 foot-pounds, and so start in the middle and kind of like X pattern your way out. So let me start this sucker. Okay, so rather than running them all down with the torque wrench, I'm just gonna start them all here. Okay, so I forgot you want to do this in two stages. So the one that I had tightened down, I backed off now. So I'm going to do it to 40 foot-pounds first, then come back and do them to 65. Okay, now I'm going to ramp back up to 65. And do a final pass. Okay, so that's been basically double tapped at 65. I went to 40 first, then 65. Now we can probably do the other side. Okay, so I got the heads put back on, all torqued down, all the head bolts. Slap the coil back on the back just because that was kicking around on the ground. So I forgot to clean off the rear main seal, so I can't really get in there very good with this stand on there. So I put the chain on. I'm just going to lift it up really quick, take the back off of it, clean it, and then probably put it right back on. So kind of an annoying thing to do, but I just missed it when I was doing it. So I'm going to lift it up now. Okay, so here's the rear main seal off of that engine. And basically I pulled off, there's still some little pieces of RTV or whatever it is here, gray RTV it looks like, underneath there. So this sits in that groove right there, sits like this. So I peeled that off. That's part of the oil pan gasket. I have a new one of those over there. And you see those two little grooves, that's like leftover RTV, and there's some pieces here. But anyway, next thing I gotta do is get the seal out of here. So I assume you just kind of like pick at that guy, or might actually have to punch it out, but I don't know, I'll just figure a way to get out. There's my old Betsy right there, so I'm gonna just find a way to get up in there and pull that out. But anyway, and then I have a new one to press down in there. Okay. So it's out. Clean this out. Tap a new one down in there. Alright, so I got the rear main housing all cleaned up. Looking good. Got all that gasket scraped off the back. And so here's the seal. So it goes in the same way that the other one did. So like this with the opening on the back. So I'm gonna square it up. I got this crappy old piece of wood here. Let's see if I can't get it started. take some grease, red grease, and I'm just gonna kind of put some in here so that this lip has something to ride with. Just gonna kind of fill this right here. I got the engine off the stand there, and we're just hanging by the hoist right here. And basically I had a bunch of lingering gasket from the back of this plate on there. Actually, it's like this. And anyway, so I cleaned the back, cleaned that. And that really kind of sucks when the crank's in there, because you just have to be really careful not to nick the crank or do anything weird there. So I pulled out this pin and this dowel, pulled those both out, that stud and that dowel, and got that out. So now I was able to actually like clean that up right, and so now I have this all set and ready to go. So I'm gonna put that on there, and then also I took the seal and I kind of just put some grease down in the trough there to kind of just keep everything riding nice and smooth. So the old one had that in there. Of course, it was all black basically, and so that should help. And then there's a gasket for the back of this, so I'm gonna go see about finding that now. So I have that what is that Mr. Gasket 7103, and what it's missing in there is the half moon gasket on the right, that apparently is not sold individually by anybody but GM, so you have to get that from a dealership, and I wasn't willing to wait for that to come in, so I think it was like $6 for the individual gasket by itself, and like 18 or something for this whole kit or whatever. So maybe it was 20, I don't even really remember. But this is a BS 40626 Felpro, so I guess I have an extra, I don't know, it's for a, it says for a 4.3, 5.0 and a 5.7, so I assume some of this goes to the other. But anyway, so I'm going to take that gasket out and basically attach it to the block and the housing with a little bit of black RTV, and we'll just see how this goes. I got that to fit over there actually pretty decently without using the little sleeve that's in here. That again, that Mr. Gasket kit did not come with the little sleeve that's there. So anyway, I just took this guy, and it honestly slides over there kind of nice. So just want to make sure you don't roll back the gasket, like there's like a little lip there. You don't want to get that rolled back, because then it'll not seal, obviously. So anyway, gonna do that quick and just keep plugging along here. There's a little dowel pin right here. You can't see it. It's actually just turned behind the crank a little bit. That was in, I put it in at first, put in too far, so don't do that. There was a lot of pissing around trying to get that out of there. So I got that pulled out now to the right depth, and I dry fit this so that I would know it would at least not interfere in any sort of way. So here's my gasket, the one that I had to buy separate. Got that guy. I'm gonna go here, and they have a little sleeve to install this, but honestly, you just don't need it here. Just goes up really nice and easy there. Okay. So this is a little stud that goes in there. Okay, so that's in there, and then I'll just find the other two bolts for the top yet. Okay, so I got my hardware for the rear main here. The nut obviously goes here, and the longer bolt goes on the other long location, and then the two shorts. This fly keeps running around. He's gonna get some brake clean. He's gonna right now. He's right on that dowel. Bastard. Alright, so the rear main's on now. So probably the next thing is the either the cam cover or the oil pan. So